Hey everyone, Craig here. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about ActiveCampaign and about email automation. Now, if you use an autoresponder, something that after somebody subscribes on your landing page or asks for that, lead magnet, having an email autoresponder and follow-up tool is paramount to making it in this online business world. So you need to be building a list, and today we're going to jump into how you use ActiveCampaign to create an email automation sequence for your soap opera sequence. We're going to get into this right now. This is one of the key kind of introductory email automations that you need to do. It really is kind of like that first onboarding email that warms people up, gets them to know a bit more about who you are, who your business is, and gives them a chance to really kind of engage, using the email channel. So here's the soap opera sequence from the .com Secrets book. If you haven't got that, I'll put a link down below that you can get a free copy of .com Secrets, where it goes through in depth on the email marketing aspects, the soap opera sequence, as well as the Seinfeld sequence, which is another automation you can do after you've run your customers or your prospects through this soap opera sequence. So as you can see here, this one's a 5-day sequence. You can do a 3-day, a 7-day. It's up to you. But really, from a soap opera sequence perspective, it's really 5 days that you want to, try and get in there. 3 is okay too. But, really, this is the most effective way. So as you can see, day 1 is all about setting the stage, kind of opening up the dialogue, some good hook to really bring them into that email and just set the stage. A little bit of information, welcoming them, give them even the lead magnet maybe they got, that you promised them on the landing page, and really just open up the dialogue. And then you finish that email with a bit of an open loop so that they make sure that they're coming back to the second email. And so on day 2, here's where you go high drama. This is, hey, I was living on my own and I had no money and, I was broke and all these bad things were happening. And then, all of a sudden I hit a wall and I just, had enough and I just couldn't take it anymore. And so you basically, bring that into your email copy and really communicate that, on day 2, again, opening the loop at the end of your email saying, hey, tune in tomorrow, next day, all those kinds of things. So on day 3 is really where you get to that epiphany. So, the epiphany is, we had all that high drama the day before. The epiphany is, oh my God, I learned this new thing and, it completely changed my perspective, and for me, that was the hook story offer, this kind of stuff we're talking about here. But, that's the big epiphany. Wow, oh, this made so much sense. That's the one thing that just totally changed things for me. Again, you kind of finish that email with opening the loop and talking about the benefits that you learned. There's some hidden benefits about, this epiphany and this one thing, and that's what you get to in day 4. Where's the hidden benefits. And so that's your email there. And then on day 5 is really kind of that urgency call to action. This is where eventually you're using that email to actually, get them into your course, get them to the next stage, whatever it is that you're selling or that you're doing. So that's the 5-day soap opera sequence. And really we're going to build that out in ActiveCampaign and show you how you can do that. So again, ActiveCampaign is an autoresponder. It's a great email marketing tool. It can auto-respond. You can have all these neat workflows, as you see on the screen here, that allow you to create some really unique custom automations that take your customers on very personalized journeys. So you can do email blasts in here as well, maintain multiple lists. So it's a typical email marketing platform. It's the one I use. It's my favorite. I moved from MailChimp to this and I couldn't be happier. It's an amazing tool. And if you want to get a copy, you can get one down below. I'll leave a link. It's a great tool and I think you'll love it too. So let's dive into the automation here. All right, so we're inside ActiveCampaign here in the automations section on the menu on the left here. You can see this little cog with a circular arrow going around it. That's really the automation. So you land on the home page here and you can see some of my automations. But we're going to kick this off. And ActiveCampaign is great when it comes to automations. You don't have to start from scratch. I tend to, but you have a whole bunch of different recipes that you can get here. So, starting from scratch is what we're going to do today, so I can really show you how to build this. But, there's all kinds of great email automations that you can really start from a template. All kinds of things on increasing revenue, increasing traffic, automating your sales team, all kinds of different recipes that you can use to automate your business. So it's very, very cool, very powerful tool. But we're going to just start from scratch and go with that. So as you can see, you just get this blank canvas, and it opens up with a nice wizard to really be like, hey, how do you want this automation to start? So we need a trigger. There's various triggers you can use. So somebody subscribes to the list. That's probably the most basic. So you've already created a list before you build these automations, or you have a list already that people have been subscribing to. The idea here is, when they subscribe, we want this automation to be kicked off and get going. So there's a lot of ways you can trigger this. You can see here if somebody unsubscribes, you can send an unsubscribe automation if they submit a form. So again, there's landing pages in here. Even if somebody opens and reads an email, you can trigger another automation. So again, there's lots here to unpack, and we'll do this in another video where we can look at some more complex automations. But from now, we're going to just start with the subscribes to a list. So you can take any list. So, basically if anybody subscribes to any one of your lists, you can have this automation go, or you can pick a specific list. So we're going to do this on any list. So anybody that basically, jumps into one of our, sales funnels will receive this sequence. So you could say that this run once or multiple time. I usually set once. There's some more advanced functionality, but we'll save that for another time. So let's start with that. So as soon as that goes off, then you have to add an action. So automation is all about actions. It uses, that simple paradigm of, if this, do that. And it allows you to manage all that logic with different conditions and then different options. So sending options, you can send an email, send a SMS text message, send a notification, even site messages. So there's some other cool, powerful stuff that they're getting here. Then you can get into conditions. So wait. If you want to wait for a day or for multiple days, you have a wait condition. And we'll show that. We're going to use that one in this workflow, in this automation. If else, so, if open the email, else do this. There's some conditions you can put so you can get really complex in your automations. And then, you can start an automation as well, based off of conditions. There's a whole bunch of other things, actions, if somebody subscribes to one or more lists, you can add tags. There's a whole bunch of great stuff. And so I don't want to dive too deep into this and get complex, because we're really going to just be sending emails. So let's start off with sending our first email. So right off the bat, we got to create that email. So we'll give it a fancy name, and we're going to basically go back to our lovely sequence here where we set the stage. So this is what we're going to call this. We're going to call it set the stage. There we are. So I'll put it in caps. Let's go down here. So set the stage. This is email 1. So we'll create that. I'm not going to write the whole email out because this is something you should do beforehand. But the idea is you can choose one of these awesome templates. There's tons of different fancy ones, or you can be very simple. I'm just going to use this simple template, and we're going to say email 1. So again, this video is not about writing your soap opera sequence. You really got to sit down and spend the time. But once you've written that out, this is when you come back to this tutorial and back to these automations to fill this out. So email 1, you put the subject. Make sure you've got your name set up properly. The template runs in here. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to just follow the process. ActiveCampaign really helps you move through this, step by step. And so here's where you write that whole story. I could use my soap opera sequence here, but in essence, you've written this beforehand. So you take this content, you copy it over into your email, and off you go. And so there's all kinds of great tools here. You can add additional text blocks. Again, you can really play around with the email editor here. There's all kinds of great tools, but in the end, you're really just trying to get that simple message in there to communicate your soap opera sequence. So we're just going to go quickly through the automation here of this. you get your campaign summary, and then once you're all set and everything's working, you can test it. It does a good little spam check, making sure you're not, using any bad words in there that are gonna, throw you into the spam inbox, and then you're finished. So, once you, make sure your email's all correct and the language is there, you're good to go. And so we're taken back here to the last step of this first piece of the automation, and then you can see here. So we've got a first very simple automation here. Contact subscribes to any one of your lists, you send out an email. Then if we want to add steps here, the first thing you want to do, is you can simply just bring up that new action wizard. And here's where a condition. So we're going to wait one day because we really want to send an email a day for the next 5 days. So here you have a wait condition where you can specify a period of time, or you can wait till specific conditions are met. So let's say clicked on an email, trigger this condition. So we're going to use specific time. We're just going to say wait 1 day and then move on to the next task. So you can see, very simple, added a condition here. We're going to scroll down. We're going to add the next email. So create new email, because we don't have it. You can select one if you've already created an email, but ideally we're creating a new one here. Here we're going to go back to our sequence, day 2, high drama, the backstory. So here we got day 2, high drama, and we create the next email. So then we're taken through that same process where we can simply just, use that past template that we just grabbed. Email 2. Again, you got to put in all your correct subject lines, all that great content and copy that you wrote before you started doing all this automation. So again, we just go through that. You create your email, very simple process. We finish that email once you've written all your nice, beautiful sales copy, and then we save it. So as you can see, that's really the process. We add another wait condition. We want to wait for another day. Very simple. Move on, add a next email. So as you can see, that's how you build out your automation. It's a very simple soap opera sequence, 5 email sequence automation that you can do probably in an hour. If you didn't have your copy, obviously that takes a little bit longer. The email and writing that soap opera sequence is probably the hardest part of all of this. So once you do that, you can create other sequences. You can move people into other ones. So I'll show you my Entrepreneur Accelerator sequence here. Or this is actually a wrong one here. We'll go back to the Entrepreneur Accelerator soap opera. So give me a second here. On the next page. So I got a welcome to EA. One of the things I wanted to show you here. So again, like I showed you, wait 1 day, very similar. All emails here. I think I've only got 4 in this particular one. And then what happens is you enter a new automation. And so you go into the Seinfeld automation. This particular condition says, hey, when they're done this particular sequence or last email, send them over to another one. So that was how we created, soap opera sequences and email sequences in ActiveCampaign. So I hope this was helpful to you. Please subscribe, like the channel. I've got lots more videos coming, and I hope this was a very helpful training for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you want to check out ActiveCampaign, there's a free trial in the description below as well.